And we're live. Good morning, everybody. Today we have Gayle with us and Dr. Nelson, and Dr. Kilt is with us in spirit from the West Coast.
He's always here. Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Nelson, and like she said, we're all here for the 6 a.m. meetup with our guest Gayle. And do you have a hashtag? Alias
Hashtag, we're doing hashtag Gayle for Kilt's Keto Carnivore book.
Okay. So
we do a giveaway at the end. There's like a program that collects all the hashtags with the selected hashtag, and everybody can get a chance to win a giveaway. There you go.
All right. So Gayle, she left. She'll be back. I guess we're having
our normal daily technical difficulties. I guess this is a good time to start asking Dr. Nelson your questions.
So remember to please also put in the chat where you're watching from. We'd like to know where you are in this world. And I'm in Central Florida. Alia is in South America.
As usual.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Gayle, where are you from right now? Where are you at right now?
I'm in Olympia, Washington.
She's in Washington. So, Gayle, why don't you take a few minutes and let us know a little bit about who you are and about your carnivore story. Are you fully carnivore or keto or what? Looks like she's having some
technical issues. I hope this works out. All
right. So let's do this. We have Brian in the chat. United Carnivore from Tampa Bay. Tom, Target Prime Rib.
I think we're good. Are you good, Gayle? Can you hear us now? I guess not.
Can you hear us, Gayle?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, good.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Gayle and what brings you here today, your carnivore story.
Okay. Let's see. So I was pretty much on a standard diet. We always had like a can of Crisco on our countertop. I often ate like younger and stuff out of boxes. I lived off Kool-Aid, Twinkies, just like the worst food that you can think of. And that was normal for me. So I never really had like a good foundation for nutrition. About when I was in high school, I was influenced by someone to try veganism. And so I was a vegan up until I was about 19 years old. I spent like 5 years during that time being a vegan. And I started eating meat again when I was about 19. And then I went through just a lot of like self-destructive events in my life. Like I had an eating disorder when I was roughly about like 20 years old. That lasted for at least 2 years, and I would just go back on and off veganism for like the next 10 years or so. And I drank a lot of alcohol, got into drugs. The worst things I could do for my life, I pretty much did. And I don't want to make this story too long, so but when I was, I would say about roughly 6 years ago, I met my now husband, and at the time I was back into veganism, and he was the opposite of that. Like, he was a big meat eater, and he accepted me for, my food choices, but he educated me a lot about nutrition and everything that he knew. And then eventually I started reintroducing fish into my diet, and then I just slowly worked my way back up to eating red meat again. And fast forward a little bit, and we ended up having a child together. And so luckily I was eating meat then. And when I was pregnant with her, I was eating lots of meat and like organs, and just like nourishing myself the way that I should be. And I had a really, really great pregnancy. I had like zero complaints. I felt really, really good. But after I gave birth to our daughter, my health kind of just went downhill. I was mostly on an animal-based diet, and I was just hungry all the time. My hormones were just completely a wreck. I was sleep deprived for over a year, like maybe a year and a half. I was sleep deprived just from being up all night with her and not sleeping. And eventually, I developed these rashes all over my body. I never knew exactly what they were, because I did go to a doctor, and they didn't have any like answers for me. I just from like all the things that I've read online, and so I've suffered with these really intense rashes, like all over my arms, my abdomen, and my chest, and all the weight that I gained when I was pregnant with Vera. I was never able to shed like any of my weight, no matter what I did. What else? Eventually, my period, I lost my menstrual cycle at one point, and that lasted for 6 months. And I just, through premenopause, um, so that happened, and I was also I was intermittent fasting a lot, and at the time I wasn't aware that I needed to be doing that, like with my cycle. And this was before I had lost my period. So I was just intermittent fasting all the time, or a lot, and I'm thinking that might have harmed my hormones even more. But
Did you lose
so
your when you lost your cycle? Was it while you were being vegan, or were you carnivore?
So no, I wasn't carnivore or vegan at the time. I was eating mostly animal based, but I was really addicted to carbs. I was like eating lots and lots of carbs. I spent, I want to say I spent like at least 8 years of my life as a vegan off and on. And I don't know if losing my period, I'm thinking that maybe it had just something to do with like being nutrient deficient, wasn't eating well. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. But anyways, so I lost, and 6 months went by. 6 months went by, and I was watching some videos about the carnivore diet, and I was doing a lot of research, and I don't know if you guys can hear me because I can't see you right now.
No, we can hear you. Shoot.
Yeah. If you have any questions for Gayle, please put them in the chat so we can ask her. She is having some technical difficulties with her internet speed, I think. And so,
see, I'm going to go through see if there's. I don't think we have any questions yet, but
okay, I
feel free.
I can see you guys now.
may I ask your age?
43.
Okay. Well, you look definitely younger than that.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? And how long have you
right
been?
now? I feel, other than just being tired from waking up really early, I feel really great. I feel honestly feel the best I've ever felt my entire life.
Wow.
And so I got to that 6 month mark when I had lost my period. I had known about the carnivore diet. It just seemed like out there for me, but I was kind of like at my wit's end, sort of, and I just one day, I didn't even plan on doing it really. Just one day I ate anything but meat and eggs, I think, and then I completed the whole day of like being carnivore, and then I just decided right then and there to just keep going. And now, almost a year later.
Oops. Oh no. She'll be back. She'll be back.
Okay.
If anyone has any questions for Dr. Nelson, we will take them, or me. I'll answer questions. Here we go. You're back. Yay.
All right. So we have a question for you, Gayle. Please, if you can, mark your question with a QQQ.
We can find them either, or even one Q. I can even find one Q.
Yeah. So Gayle, so what do you think made your period come back when you had lost it?
The only thing that makes sense to me is that it came back because I switched my diet, because I changed my diet, and because that's the only thing I did different. So.
Okay. And are you eating once a day, twice a day? What's your eating? You have mentioned intermittent fasting. What's your eating pattern?
I think I lost
nowadays?
You guys again.
Oh, we're here. Shoot. Oh.
What's your eating pattern, Gayle? Do you eat once a day, twice a day? Can you hear me? All right.
Nope.
There she goes again. Yeah, so she answered that when she changed her eating pattern.
We're having a fun live stream here, at least. Thanks for being here with us. Okay, here we go.
Can you hear us, Gayle?
Yes.
All right. Someone was asking, what do you think made your cycle come back?
Well, the
You
only thing
mentioned.
that I did different, my cycle was gone for 6 whole months. The only thing I did differently was I ate a strict carnivore diet, and I think it was like, uh, and so when I lost my cycle, it was actually about a month before I started carnivore. So I was without a cycle for I missed one month, and then I decided to go carnivore. And so for the first few months of being carnivore, I did not have a cycle. I still did not have a cycle, but then it came back. Um, I think I was like right around 5 or 6 months into the diet, and it came back. And every month after that, like it's been coming back every single month, like clockwork, basically since then.
Do you
And
make?
it's never been this regular that I can remember either. So
Yeah.
I definitely attribute that to what I was eating.
Do you make it a point to uh, eat fatty meat or butter?
Yeah, I do make it a point to eat fatty meat. I don't eat butter anymore. I actually pretty much only eat red meat, I would say. That's how I've been eating for about like the past 3 months or so. I was doing strict lion diet, excuse me, and then I reintroduced a few things into my diet that didn't really work well for me.
So
So right now I'm back to just eating red meat, but I do a lot of red meat, and I add tallow to my meat often.
okay, and what are your favorite cuts of meat? I mean, do you eat
My
mostly ground
favorite.
beef?
Mhm. So I love ground beef. I eat that a lot for breakfast. I'll just cook it on the cast iron with tallow, and I love New York strip and skirt steak are like my two
Okay.
favorite steaks.
And besides the cast iron, which other ways do you prepare your meat?
Um, I would say so. I cook my ground beef. I like it cooked the best on the cast iron, and the rest of the time I'm usually grilling because we just don't like to fill the house with smoke
Mm,
from cooking in the house. So, and I like the way it tastes better when it's grilled.
right. And I don't know if I got your answer. You eat once a day or twice a day mostly?
I mostly eat twice a day, breakfast
Okay.
and dinner.
And I know people always want to ask if by the way, we're not exactly big fans of tracking, but some people track how much protein they have per day and things like that. Do you have any idea how much you eat, or do you eat until you're just satisfied?
Yeah, I just eat until I'm full. I don't track. I haven't been tracking calories or anything like that throughout this. When I first started carnivore, I did because I just thought that's what you were supposed to do, but I stopped pretty quickly after that, and I just have been eating until I'm full, and it's been working pretty well for me.
And how about besides beef? Do you eat any lamb, goat, venison, any other red meat? Uh, can you hear me? Are you still there? Okay. Do we have any other questions?
We do have another question. Shoot. Sorry, I guess these. And we can all take a shot at this one. Tammy Jordan, I have a 5 and 7-year-old boys, and I'm starting on keto board today. Any suggestions on the best way to go about this? I'm guessing she means like eating that way while feeding her kids. Get them to eat that way. They'll love it. That's
Pretty
easy.
much. Yeah, that's another thing. Is ever since I started eating this way, my daughter and my husband have both been eating a lot better. Although they're not full carnivore, but they're getting there.
What do you feed in? What is their favorite food? Eggs or beef? What other things do you feed them? Okay. Apologize for that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna laugh. I
So,
love the technical
Alia,
issues.
you have 2 small kids.
I
What do you normally feed them?
I pork chops, ground beef, scrambled eggs, fried eggs. That's about it. They do once in a while we do chicken. They love fish actually, but I'm very bad at cooking it, so they eat that at grandma's house.
Now, they probably would get bored quicker if you were to feed them just the same thing every day.
Oh
Some of
yeah.
them. So what do you do as far as trying to switch around, or and they also have a little bit of fruit,
Yeah, or a
especially
lot of bit of fruit, depending how much is at grandma's house. But I mean, they ask me what they tell me. I'm not like, oh, I don't make like a dinner. I'll make what I want to eat, and if they don't want to eat it, I'll take a few minutes and make something else for them. Like, 'cause it doesn't take a long time to cook. Like last night, Brianna, she asked me for like a egg and cheese omelet, so I made that, and then Jacob asked for a hamburger with a cheeseburger with a fried egg on top. I know it sounds really funny that kids are asking for these foods, and so I just made it. It didn't take a long time. My kids are 8 and 7, so but they've been with me on this for 2 years now. So they're not perfect carnivores, but they eat really good. They eat really good. So there we go.
well, they're still growing up, and again, sometimes when you're metabolically healthy, and I do know I see them sometimes on the phone or here. They
Yeah,
show up
exactly.
and they look pretty good.
Yeah.
So children usually are metabolically healthy and they can tolerate a little bit of carbohydrates. Plus, I know, Alia, that you live very close to family members, so when they go and visit grandma
They get that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's it's not a lot of junk food. Like if they go to grandma's, they'll have like rice and beans, which is very local, like very common food here, or maybe like some noodles inside of a soup, but it's nothing standard American. I will say when I brought Jacob and Brianna to the States a couple of years ago, we did like a McDonald's binge, and Jacob got fat in 2 weeks. Like he can eat plates of rice here. I hate plates of rice, but he could do that and he wouldn't gain any weight. But if you go eat McDonald's, he'll get fat. And Brianna won't eat it, so she stays skinny. Like it makes her feel really bad, so she won't eat it. Anyways, but that's just a point. Like how we have our food here is much better quality, and we don't have the fast food standard American stuff. And you can see that if you go do standard American, instantly everything, his whole face blows up, his belly blows up. So there you go. Oh, we lost her again.
So, well, part of Tammy's question is any suggestion on the best way to go about this, and I would say just do not have in the house uh, anything that you wouldn't like to feed them, because kids will eat anything that you put in front of them, right? Whatever
Right.
is available, they will not have, particularly at this age, a very discriminating uh, mind, and they're not going to analyze, well, should I eat this or not? So whatever you give them, I have available for them, that's what they're going to eat. What how
Yeah,
many kids do you have,
exactly.
Gail? Can you hear us now, Gail?
She's here with us. I do want to say, Kate Sprague says kids only give can only what you give them. That's true.
Yeah.
So just if they're like, Mom, I don't want to eat this, like Courtney Luna has a great cookbook that has a lot of good ideas, like very carnivore foods that you can make for your kids, but they look like normal foods, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, if I cook for myself, I can eat a single item, whether it's steak or burger or ground beef. Other people want to have more variety on their plates. And again, kids might not be wanting to eat 10 straight meals that are based on eggs, or so you might have to cook and come up with different type of recipes to feed them steak and
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah, find Courtney Luna's book. She's got great stuff in there for kids. I don't think adults necessarily have to do that unless they're like transitioning over to carnivore, but still, if you want something special, she has like a taco soup, a taco sausage soup. There's various things. Anyways, there we go.
Mm.
Gail, can you hear us now? We see your
Yes, I
cat.
can. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
How many kids you have, Gail?
I have a 4-year-old.
I'm sorry?
A 4-year-old.
I have a 4-year-old.
All right. And what do you normally feed her?
So she eats. She's pretty much animal based. We feed her, like, she pretty much just eats what we eat, and then we. My husband he's kind of more animal based, I would say too. So yeah, she'll, like, for breakfast, she'll just eat what we eat basically, and dinner, and so like steak and ground beef, and we just try to.
Aw.
All right. You have another question?
Yeah, we got one from we got two in Instagram. So I can't really maybe I can try to copy it over. Let me see. Let me see if it
Well,
lets me copy
you
it.
can read it.
Okay, so it says, here we go. Oh, I was able to get it into the chat. Here we go. It says, good morning. I would like to know, this is from Jerry Sahor. Good morning. I would like to know how being on carnivore diet enters ketosis, or if it's possible to do it while being on carnivore. Thank you.
Well, when you
So-
don't have the short answer with that, without going into all the reactions, is when you lower your carbohydrates to near zero, your body will start making ketones. Now, the higher your fat to protein that you're eating, the higher your ketone levels will be. That's the short answer. So fatty cuts of meat will raise your ketones level. You don't have to be in extremely high ketosis. Basically, nutritional ketosis is considered to be over 0.5. Some people consider anything, if it registers on the ketone meter, that you're in ketosis, whether it's 0.1, 0.5, or 1. there's specific circumstances where you want to track and you want to be in higher levels of ketosis. By the way, that was not Dr. Kills that asked that
That's
question.
Alia. That's
That's
Alia.
Alia copying because
Yeah.
he's not here.
He's
He
probably
might be
sleeping.
he might be getting up about this time.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
he is
Here's
on the
another question from Instagram, from Caroline Pre-wrap. Okay. Good morning. Could carnivore flare up appendicitis?
I don't think so. Carnivore diet seems to be very anti-inflammatory, and appendicitis is an inflammatory problem, whether it's acute or chronic. Chronic appendicitis is a thing, although it's not frequent.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen a couple of cases in 40 years, so it's not common, but it can happen. But yeah, no, it's an acute inflammation. It's very unlikely that carnivore diet will give you appendicitis. All right, so Tim.
All
Pat?
right. Tim Treblecock. Okay. Fat in the meat is good. If it is liquid, not as good. Solid butter, better than melted. Tallow is rendered, so not as good. What if it is in solid form? Bit confused about the fat thing.
So I'm gonna channel my inner Dr. Kills, right?
Okay, because I was hoping for a different answer. Keep going.
But you know what? We gotta show Baby Kills if he can cue it up. But
I'm going to
eating
show Baby Kills.
eating
Okay.
eating the fat probably the best. Raw fat or slightly cooked. When you cook things, you do either render it if it's fat, or you may change a little bit the structure of the fat. So eating the fatty cut of meat is probably the best. Render fat, like tallow, is render fat. Butter is essentially more or less the same. Uh, First of all, it's difficult to find raw butter because in most states it's not legal to sell raw butter for human consumption.
Cats
Although
can eat it, though. Your dogs can eat it, even though they
although
probably wouldn't.
many states allow the sale for cats and dogs. Hey, I happen to have a dog at home. I really do. Uh, so if you want to buy raw milk, you can make your own raw butter from the raw milk that you buy for your cat or dog. And but most people don't have access to that. Local farms, always look for local farms. But so yes, basically the question is, your statements are true. Solid butter is better than melted. Tallow is rendered. If you eat a lot of rendered fat, you might run into a little bit of problem sometimes with diarrhea.
There you go.
But
Here, are you ready?
yes. Go ahead.
Carnivore
Go
nearly
ahead.
15
Go ahead.
years
'cause
ago.
this-
Sorry,
I tell
it
you,
keeps playing.
when I went carnivore nearly 15 years ago, and I'm going to be 70 next year, and I've never felt better. All the drugs, doctors, and dissections gone.
Yeah.
Thanks to Carrie. It's only 12 seconds. It's very funny. I keep watching it. This has almost 10,000 views on Instagram.
And that was made by whom?
Carrie Van
Gary
Jr.
Man from Homestead How. All right. We have a couple of more questions here.
We do have another couple more questions here. Let's see. Don Smith, what is your assessment on why people need thyroid medicine?
because our bodies are not perfect. So, even having the optimum diet, you may have diseases, right? They're more frequent when you're eating all the junk food. So first of all, our bodies are not perfect. Second, you may have iodine deficiencies. Uh, Third, sometimes you cannot find the specific reason of why. Often, people, for example, Hashimoto's is a common cause of hypothyroidism, but not all hypothyroidism is from Hashimoto's disease. All right. Uh, Sometimes it just happens. In general, probably diet related. I mean, we do know when your diet is optimum that you have a lower incidence of many of these chronic diseases, including thyroid. People in carnivore, that do the carnivore diet usually are able to decrease some of the antibodies, but not everybody does, number one. And a lot of people are not able to eliminate the full amount of antibodies. So Hashimoto's, for example, may get better, may not get gone completely, right?
Mhm. I mean, I have had a thyroid condition since I had my first baby, Hashimoto's actually. But I took a little bit of thyroid meds at the beginning before I was carnivore. It made me feel bad, and then never got it adjusted or whatever. And then I haven't really been on them. And then I recently asked Dr. Nelson to look at my blood work, and he said he's not putting me on anything. So yeah,
you still have antibodies.
yeah.
But at the moment, all your thyroid levels are very good. They're not exactly borderline, they're good. So
They're good. And I only attribute that to following this way of eating for 2 years. Like they've just got the numbers have gotten better through the test over 2 years. So there you go. I just wanted to add that in there as a real life example. Gayle is trying to come back on, so we'll see if she's able to make it. Let's see. We've got a couple more questions. NFT artist question: is it coincidence, or do I feel less cold than I used to while I'm carnivore? That's thyroid related as well, isn't it?
very often could be. Some other times, like this is something that may happen while fasting to some people. Changes in temperature. Yes, thyroid dysregulation will cause that as well.
Like being
when
too
you're
cold, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're a carnivore, or by the way, when you are in any type of energy deficit, that may happen more often. While you're eating enough energy, usually your body's not going to feel uh, the temperature changes that much.
Mm. Okay. Let's see. Catherine, can histamines from ground beef cause rash on face? Been suffering with this for a year, 5 years on carnivore.
All right. The answer is yes. And you may need to try to find fresh meat as opposed to any aged meat. Now, most meat is aged almost automatically for at least 7 days to sometimes 21 days before they process. They hang it for that long. So you might want to find a local butcher and try to find fresher meat. Uh, you might want to try different meats like lamb and goat. If you feel that the beef you're buying it's causing this, you might not want to keep whatever you cook for a day or two, the refrigerator, basically all these things. This is a common problem, the histamine issues in some people. We have in the Healing Humanity community, and she's gonna be in my channel, not in my channel. She's gonna be in this channel in one of the afternoons on Tuesday or Thursday.
Lynn.
Coming up, Lynn. She has it's such an excellent video that I wouldn't even try to make anything new. She has a very excellent video. I'll try to find it before we leave and post it. But if not, Midlife Carnivores, right? Midlife Carnivore on YouTube. That's her
Yes,
channel.
midlife carnivore, not meatlife, midlife.
It's an excellent. She talks about mast cell activation syndrome and histamine issues. It's just excellent. She used to be a nurse, a GI nurse in the last few years, and she had to quit her job from problems from this, and she's been able to put all of that under control and be able to eat some foods that she wasn't able to eat before. So it's an excellent video. I would encourage you to find that. All right, next.
Okay, next. Why, John, why is solid better than liquid?
Essentially, the liquid is basically the rendered fat, and some people it's good. There are a couple of issues because liquid doesn't. It runs through the intestine faster, doesn't let your normal digestion and intestinal function get it absorbed. So that might have something to do with it.
Okay, great. Next question. Dr. Nelson, can carnivore cause elevated blood pressure?
Well, my experience with that has been that it improves blood pressure, and there is some mechanisms of action for that. Most people get improvement in their blood pressure. I personally went from very high doses of 2 medications to none. Took me 7 months, 7 months after I became carnivore to get rid of all my medication for blood pressure. I tapered down slowly, work with your doctor on a plan to do that. If you're having your blood pressures are lower, then you need to slowly taper things down. And it doesn't have to be a carnivore friendly doctor. Any doctor should be able to work up a plan with you. What they're going to want to see from you is that your blood pressure is better. So if you're working on that, you check your blood pressure, keep track of it, write it down, use an app, whatever you want to do, and then on your next visit with the doctor, you start working on a plan to get rid of or taper down your blood pressure medicines.
Sorry.
I'm gonna post in the chat. This is not Dr. Kills. This is me. Oh, I thought I had copied it. I found the video I was talking about.
Oh, good.
But the very short answer is yes, you can improve your blood pressure. No, carnivore does not really tend to increase blood pressure. Let me see if I copy it now.
See.
All right. So this video, carnivore diet, low histamine approach for those with histamine intolerances or MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome. Okay. And like I said, it's excellent. Good morning, Booby Goats. What was the question? I didn't see that.
It was the same question.
Oh,
I was
that
just taking it off. Okay, so next we
okay.
got
That was
CC
Robin.
Sky.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah, it was Robin. I have no thyroid intake, T3 and T4. My free T3 level bottomed out, and I had symptoms when I went carnivore. I had to take more T3. Why would that happen? Doing fine now.
Well, you don't have a thyroid. I'm assuming it was removed or treated with radiation, but I have no thyroid. I'm assuming it was removed.
Yes.
And basically, that's a whole different animal. You're trying to compensate for what the hormones in your body do when the thyroid is working correctly, right? Now you have to do the same regulation your body does with medications. Your levels may go up, may go down, and it's really a pain to manage sometimes. I'm gonna make a statement that probably most people that deal with with either hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, if you've been on medication for a year, you might be one of those that is constantly changing the medications because the doctor, whenever they do the test, it's either too much or too little. It's very difficult to control. Uh, I don't think it seems on the carnivore diet, by the way, that you may need less T3. And it seems that some people with hypothyroidism, when they are on a carnivore diet, lower levels of T3 are okay, but still within the normal range. So I hope I gave you some sort of answer there. Booby Goats is
She had a question?
no. You started, but it's mostly about her blood pressure, how it sank with carnivore 94 over 60. That's the usual pattern when you don't have carbohydrates in your diet.
Oh, here we go.
Then you have a chain of events that produce some diuresis. That's very frequently on people who have never done a ketogenic diet of any kind, and when they start either a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet, the first thing to go is excess amount of fluid and inflammation from your body. So very good.
Okay, next question. Dawn, long COVID here. The reason why I tried carnivore going on 4 months, I do feel better, more energy. Your thoughts, comments?
Definitely more energy. It is a very anti-inflammatory diet. Is providing you with the better energy, right? You're not eating all the crappy food, the standard atrocious diet, and you're feeding it what your body needs. Your Brian likes to comment that we're made of meat, so eat meat, right?
Yeah, exactly. You are what you eat. Let's see. John Garza, fasting insulin at 13, C-peptide at 3.05, insulin resistance score 82, reverse diabetes A1C from 15% now down to 5.8%. What else can I do to further my insulin resistance?
Continue doing what you're doing. Those are great changes. Your fasting insulin is still a little bit higher than I would like it. I prefer anything under 10. If you listen to Dr. Bigman, one of the big experts on insulin, I think he prefers it under 7. Now, you may have insulin changes as much as glucose does. And if you track your glucose, you know that it goes up and down, and insulin can go up and down as well. But C-peptide at 3, that means you're producing from your pancreas. And C-peptide is probably not necessary to differentiate always, unless you're using insulin injection. You're injecting yourself with insulin, but that's a good number. An insulin resistance score. There are many scores out there, so I don't know which one. Like if you use the HOMA-IR, that is not in the scale of a HOMA-IR, HOMA/IR. The LPIR score that LabCorp gives you, it's also basically 25, 50, 75, and 100, and basically tells you whether you're higher or lower usually than those percentages. But keep doing what you're doing. 15% A1C. Let me tell you, the hemoglobin A1C test, some machines, 15 is the most they measure. Some others is 15.5. I still haven't come across a machine that could give me a 16% measurement. So I think most machines analyze it and give you up to a 15.5%. So 15 may have been the maximum the machine was able to detect, which means it's pretty bad, right? And having 5.8%, which is barely into the pre-diabetic range, I cannot emphasize how much of a difference that is. So congratulations, John. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to get better. She's Gayle is trying to come back on, but anyways.
I have a question I've been from Instagram. Okay. Anna. She has some questions. She would like to ask a question. She has some comments from online coaches about carnivore, but I don't know if those are carnivore coaches because she's I guess a physical therapist and a policewoman, and carnivore is maddening. So I'd like some scientific explanation why it's bad. There's no it isn't bad. I hope that helps.
Well, many people have the preconception that keto diets and carnivore are bad because they raise your cholesterol. That's the biggest argument they can have. Okay. That's basically only bad if you're operating under the paradigm that cholesterol is bad for you and that high levels of total cholesterol or LDL is bad for you and it's going to kill you, and tomorrow you're going to have a stroke or heart attack. So you may need to look more into what happens to the cholesterol. Why is it very low carbohydrate diet will cause your cholesterol, not in everybody, by the way, but in some people to go up, your LDL to go up, and what that means. That's the biggest argument people on the other side may have is it's probably going to increase your cholesterol. Do you believe your cholesterol is the cause of all the chronic problems or the cardiovascular diseases?
Oh, she wants to know, why do they think it's bad? Like anybody else? Yeah,
The
cholesterol,
main
propaganda, mainstream media.
yeah, the main complaint is, oh, it's going to make your cholesterol go up, and the belief that you need a well balanced, healthy, heart healthy diet, which includes all the colors in the rainbow, and there are plenty arguments out there, but everything, the biggest issue is the cholesterol.
Yeah, exactly.
And some people talk about the fiber. There's no essential fiber. There is no
essential carbohydrates.
essential carbohydrates. There's only essential fatty acids and essential amino acids.
There we go. Joyce Armstrong. Oh, I cannot read that one. Hydrochlorothiazide.
On hydrochlorothiazide for blood pressure, that's the most commonly used diuretic. Trying to figure out how much sodium to supplement, also potassium. So hydrochlorothiazide is a diuretic. Most diuretics will pool sodium, potassium, magnesium into the urine. With that comes water. Water never moves inside your body on its own. It always has some electrolytes in it. So whenever fluid shifts, it brings some of these electrolytes with it. So you do lose sodium, you do lose potassium, you lose magnesium into the urine when you're using hydrochlorothiazide and other diuretics. Trying to figure out how much sodium to supplement. So people with hypertension, and I used to be one of them, I was very sensitive to the salt when I was on my high carbohydrate diet. I'm no longer sensitive to, my blood pressure doesn't go up when I add salt, but it used to. So you have to be careful, basically titrate it to how you feel, and always check your blood pressure. Um, you can probably safely consume 3 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium. Not all salts have the same sodium content, so you might want to look at the nutrition facts that come with the salt that you're using. A teaspoon of most salts is about, I'm not going to give you a number because I might give you the wrong number, but about 2,500 milligrams of sodium is the average. 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay, and then I just wanted to Juliet Marie, day 3 reading off antidepressant, the final prescription to go, already feel weird, probably psychosomatic. Everyone's saying go slow. I'm the first person to say, yeah, get yourself off psych meds, but yeah, you have to do it the right way, because you can have absolutely terrible withdrawal symptoms because those drugs make you instantly addicted, like the body.
Work with your provider, because this is one of those medications that has to be tapered. Unless it's an emergency situation, you want to taper this very slowly and not avoid, the withdrawal symptoms. They are more addictive than what you think.
They're very addictive, like instantly addictive, like heroin. Maybe not that bad, but they're pretty bad.
So very slowly, and if you're having symptoms, then you might want to go up a little bit, and you need to work with your provider and tapering off slowly. Not, for example, day 3. I don't know if that meant you went down 3 days ago or you've been going down every day. You probably don't can't go down every day. You need to do this with the help of your provider and probably very slowly.
Yeah, and then I put a link for Dr. Joseph of the Tabor Clinic, and he's a psychiatrist that all he does is get people off psych meds. So I put that link in the chat for his YouTube channel to get more information about that.
And I know like people don't like to be on these medications if they're helping you and not causing you problems. Again, you work with your provider. If you want to get off of them, you need to do it. Most of them very slowly.
Yeah.
I've heard people that took them 2 years to get off benzodiazepines. So
yeah, those are
a
awful.
lot of vitamin P with that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's any other questions in Instagram.
By the way, 7:00, 7:01.
Already? Oh, I feel really bad for Gayle. Her story
Yeah.
would have was good. I'm sorry, everybody. Here, so let's just do this last question for Instagram. From Lagrimas Negras. I'm pretty much carnivore, but try to include some avocado or any type of veggie in small quantities because I keep reading that the microbiome depends on these fibers. What do you think about that?
Oh boy, microbiome. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people studying the microbiome. I think the microbiome adjusts to whatever you eat. Plenty of people eating carnivore diet, not having fiber. There is no essential fiber. There's no essential carbohydrate. This is a big argument among people on either side, whether you really need fiber or not and how it works. You want to have fiber, you want to have some avocado, as long as it's not causing any damage, fine. But your body's microbiome is going to adjust to whatever you're eating. So sometimes this becomes a very interesting issue, to say the least.
There's one last question. Oh,
you can
sorry,
have it. You don't need it.
Exactly. There's one last question from Hannah on Instagram. Can you please explain what is psychosomatic? I see crazy stuff said nicely every day, but I don't feel it. I see crazy stuff. Your mind is very powerful. Your mind can make you feel things. Your mind is
psychosomatic, which it's a word from two roots from the Latin. Psycho meaning your mind, somatic
and spirit.
Somatic meaning your
can
body. And sometimes your mind is so powerful that causes your body to feel. If you think you're having something, sometimes you do end up having that something.
Very simple stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems
all right,
complicated, but the mind is powerful. We got to do the giveaway.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm sorry we had problems. Gayle had some internet speed. I think it was in the internet speed.
Yeah, I think so. If it was on her phone, maybe
problem.
The mobile data.
Maybe we'll try to reschedule and make sure that she has a good internet connection when she connects. Also, an afternoon time for her will be better than a morning time.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right. So hashtag Gayle, last minute
giveaway. Yay! Hey, nope. I didn't win. We're gonna draw again.
You already have the prize. You already have the prize with you.
Yeah, exactly. Tommy Tucker. I think I have your email, but do me a favor. Email me, Tommy Tucker, Alia at drkiltz.com. Please spell out doctor, and we will get you your book. Woohoo! I know you're in Orlando somewhere. There you go. Send me your address. it just makes my life easier. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
All right. You have a great
Goodbye,
day.
everybody.
Today we have Dr. Jesus Vega
Yay.
at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Okay.
Yay. So make sure to be there, bring your questions, and see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.